It's a brand new week in IPL 2022 and it's yet again a fantastic match that we're going to preview on cricket.com. Talking about Sunrisers Hyderbad against the Lucknow Super Giants, and guess who we've got to preview this? It's a man, of course, called Graeme Swann. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, my name's Avnish Hegde, and as you can see, we have Graeme Swann with us to, of course, pick the bones out of Hyderabad taking on Lucknow Super Giants, like I said. So, Swanee, on first looks, what do you make of this cracker-jacker?
Well, Lucknow Super Giants, after their incredible run chase against Chennai, you've got to say they're looking like one of the form teams. They were brilliant in that game at the Bradbourne Stadium. Brilliant chase, never gave up hope. Evan Lewis at the end smashing it everywhere. And they've got little Badoni as well, who is fast emerging as one of the most exciting talents in the IPL. On the other hand, Sunrisers we've not seen too much of so far, but they've got Brian Lara as their batting coach, so they're bound to be competitive. And I'm excited for this one. I don't know which way it's going to go, and I'm excited to see how the two teams shape up.
Absolutely. Let's start with Hyderabad first, because at the end of the day, they got pummeled by your Royals the other day in the first game at Pune. They ended up losing in both fronts, really, because they conceded runs and then they couldn't really go on with the chase. What was their bigger weakness?
Their biggest weakness, and this is an absolute no-no. If you're a young boy or girl learning to play cricket and you bowl no balls and take wickets early on that are then cancelled out, you've got no one to blame but yourself. That first wicket, imagine how Josh Butler's IPL could be different so far. If he gets out for naught in the first over of a game, and it's not a no ball, Rajasthan Royals then don't get the flying start that they had. They don't end up getting a big total. They lose that game. Josh doesn't have the confidence. In the second game, he doesn't get 100. The little things really do matter in cricket. So Sunrisers Hyderbad in that first game really did shoot themselves in the foot. Their discipline with the ball, about keeping your foot behind that line, was disgraceful in the first 5 overs. It's almost unforgivable in T20 cricket to bowl a no ball these days. When that hooter goes, whoop, you look around. I always look at the captain straight away, and they're always just rolling their eyes, sort of biting their tongue, thinking, why? There's no need. If you practice and practice and practice to keep your foot behind that line, you can't afford to bowl no balls in massive games like in the IPL. To bowl 3 within the first 5 overs of a game. Whew. So they're not going to do that again. Surely their bowling coach has got them and just said, look, you do that again and you're off. You're out on your ear. So if they don't do that, there's not too much to panic about. They could have easily won the first game. They could have had Rajasthan 3 or 4 down in the first 5 overs if it hadn't been for lack of discipline.
Yeah, and not to forget, even the spinners overstepping, which is criminal, and that's something that you know about. But look, let's talk about Lucknow Super Giants next, because it's not often that a team chases 200 plus against a team like Chennai Super Kings. How much would that be a confidence booster going into this clash? And it's two of your friends, really, Brian Lara and Gautam Gambhir, so you can't sit on the fence with this one.
No, it's massive. Just the confidence you get from winning a game like that in a huge chase. Huge chases are always sort of 50-50 on the edge. And at one point where Bravo bowled his last over for Chennai, it looked like it just might be a bridge too far for Lucknow, but they didn't ever give up hope. And when Dubé had to bowl 1 over, the confidence that will come from that, from smashing it everywhere, winning that game from a position that must have looked a bit dicey in the dugout, is a really massive booster. Confidence is bigger than anything. So Gautam Gambhir is in a lot better position as a batting coach than Brian Lara at the minute, because he's got that win, he's got that chase under his belt.
Yeah, let's see how it really unfolds for them. Let's now, of course, focus on one particular matchup that we've picked out here at cricket.com, and that's pretty much going to be LSG's openers in KL Rahul and Quinton de Kock, and how they'll complement a potential off spinner, which is kind of their Achilles heel, so to speak, in the IPL. Do you think that'll be the ploy from SRH, Kane Williamson, to toss the ball towards Washington Sundar and in that power play to get those two in particular?
Yeah, it might be. We've seen it before, and we know that a lot of teams invest heavily in their stats department and these matchups. So it wouldn't surprise me. I think KL Rahul against Moeen Ali the other night, he was brilliant. He only faced a few balls and he used his feet and hit him straight down the ground for 6. So there's no turn in the wicket. KL Rahul is actually a very good player of off-spin bowling. Quinton de Kock, it's strange because he can score pretty well, but he does get out to it and he gets bogged down. There's a lot of dot balls. So I would undoubtedly look to get at least an over of Washington Sundar with his off spin. If it doesn't work, you can always go back to the seamer. But if it does work, you might pick one or even both of them up.
Yeah, we've seen how Washington Sundar was effective for RCB last season in the power play, especially creating those angles around the wicket. Let's talk about another man who's returning for the LSG this time around, and Jason Holder, in all likeliness, will be ready to go. Now, he's been having a couple of fantastic years in the IPL, 2020 and 2021. Can he carry that form forward? Because his numbers are certainly suggesting a curve upwards. And given the fact that he's going to be plying his trade against Sunrisers, it's a perfect tonic, don't you think?
Yeah, absolutely. And to think that he wasn't a first pick, he was a replacement like over the last couple of years. And he's shown everyone, but his numbers alone, his stats and his performances have proved that he is worth the money. He's worth a punt by somebody. I'm not surprised at all that he got picked up for a good coin. And yeah, playing against your old team, and no matter who you are, no matter where you are, you always want to do better. You always want to sort of rise and play above your normal level of performance for some reason. It's human nature, I guess, especially when you're playing some of your friends. You want to impress them, you want to impress everyone. And so it wouldn't surprise me at all if he's one of the main key players. He's just come off the back of Test cricket that may just affect his way of thinking and his rhythm going into the game. And rhythm's all important in T20. After you've played Test matches, to then suddenly get back into there is no time to wait. It's all or nothing, almost from the word go. That can be tricky sometimes.
All right, let's talk about one West Indian to another, because at the end of the day, Nicholas Pooran has been in awful form, especially in the IPL. How does he get out of this rut, given the fact that he has a vital role to play for the Sunrisers this season? And let's just read out some stats for you, because since 2021, Swanee, he's got 5 ducks, he's got out 4 times between 1 to 9, he's just got 130 plus score to show, and it's not good numbers from your X factor, if you want to dub him as that.
No, he's not. He's had a really poor run, and the only thing I can say is he's a left-handed West Indian who's got Brian Lara there as his coach. So surely that has to be a positive thing, and he has to fire on that. You're not going to get a better bloke to talk to you about how to get out of a rut and how to smash it. I think it's all about, because he's got so many noughts, it must be playing in his mind, these low scores. But I've seen him in T10 cricket and in Caribbean Premier League. He's a different bloke altogether. He looks like he's not got any burden of pressure on him, and he just goes for it. So I wouldn't be surprised if that is the advice that goes his way in the end. You just got to try and get that monkey off your back and think, there's no pressure. I'm playing in a comfortable environment. I'm going for it.
All right, finally for me, what's your predictions for this one? Because SRH have always relied on their bowlers. Can they perhaps put runs on the board and then defend it, something that they couldn't do against the Royals?
I think they can. Whether they will or not, I think the confidence boost of Lucknow's big run chase falls heavily in their favour. But, I think there'll be sort of a bounce back by the Sunrisers as well after that first game, that chasing in first loss to Rajasthan. So I think this will be a close one. I think it's a very tight one to call. I'm going to go with Lucknow just because of the confidence factor.
All right, let's see how it all trickles out. Remember, it's coming from Navi Mumbai, the D.Y. Patil Stadium, and that's going to be a high-scoring venue. It always suggests that runs is, of course, going to be the bankers there. Let's see how it all unfolds. You can catch it on cricket.com. So goodbye from me, Avnish Hegde. We'll see you soon, not too far away.